right, welcome back. So we've got Ibrahim Abdul Karim. Apologies for the Abdul Karim. So it's actually Abdul Karim, DG Big Tent Nigeria. He's also the DG hashtag Obi Dati Independent Presidential Campaign Council. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Timberland. Thank you for having me.
What a time we are in this time, and it is interesting. But you are, of course, you've been going on with the campaigns, but if you could just give us, what has your experience been so far anyways? Because you, I know we had several people who have said, Obi Dati have no chance, they won't get any votes up north, but you, Sokoto, pulling your weight behind the their campaign council. What has your experience been so far?
Very well. I really like one of the best experience because I've been on the campaign trail 2007, 2011, and I've seen a very, very far different scenario.
That is for which one? For the Buhari support
organization.
Okay.
But what I'm seeing now is entirely a different season, a different time. I think Nigerians are really up to the task, and they are really willing to show Nigerians that we are ready. We have to move Nigeria to a new direction. They are tired of what they have been seeing. They are tired of what they have. Everybody is waiting for Nigeria, not only Nigerians. Even people that are not Nigerians are waiting for Nigeria to get that go, so that the country will now come back to where we want to go to. And they have seen that we can't be recycling people, and we can't be doing the same thing and think of a new result. Definitely, we have to do something new. And that thing that we want to do now is just for us to tell them that we have removed an incumbent government in this country. And now we have to show them that we small parties too can win, because people are the structure. Those people that are queuing at the filling station, those people that are queuing in the bank, they are the structure. So nobody can come and downside you and say that we don't have the chance. Every party have a chance, but Labour Party is in that cruising to get the presidency.
Why did you leave BSO? I mean, naturally, the thing that you will continue that trajectory with the APC, but you left that and came to Labour. Why?
No, it's not about party, it's about Nigerians. The problem people normally have is that you are not looking at the voter, at the contest for everything about election. People will come here, I used to watch your program. Everybody come to now talk about his party, talk about the principle, pin them to well. But at the end, they forget that it's about the voter, it's about that ordinary Nigerian. So what makes me is that there is nobody that enjoy the goodwill of Nigeria like APC and Muhammadu Buhari. But there is nobody reciprocate that goodwill that was given to them. If that's something he has asked us to stop sweeping the road, we will have swept the road together with him. But as I've talked to you today, if you read throughout all the newspapers you have seen today, what is lacking, there is not even communication between the government and the governed. That's the height of the pains Nigerians, and nobody is saying, like for example, up in the north where I come from, you don't have to give me anything, but give me good words. Talk to me. Show me that you feel, even if you can't address my problem, show me you are aware, and you give me good words. We call it consoling words, you understand? But if you see the trajectory of the 7 years, like somebody is showing that, like people are begging him to rule them. Like the people in charge are feeling that you just have to take what we give you. No, it don't work like that. Governance is about people. There is nothing, you can't come to television and show the big road, you show the infrastructure. No, when you come to television, you talk about people. All I'm saying is that if you look at Nigerians from 1999 to date, anybody that has gone close to the power has now his life changed. You see some of them with no vehicle now have fleet of vehicles just by association close to the government. Everybody, being a commissioner, being a governor, son of a governor, child of a governor, everybody along that way has changed. But look at the voter. Look at, that's the problem we're having. Look at the voter. So if you want to do explanation, look at the voter from 1999 today. A man that is staying in a rented 100,000 naira apartment, go and check where he is today. Maybe 20,000, maybe just a broad, uncompleted building staying his life. Nobody, you don't feel that connection that something is happening to the poor masses. You see the whole nation giving that push that we feel what you are feeling. If Nigerian masses have this connection between their leaders, I don't think we will not be here talking about all these things. Look at our roads, look at our hospital, look at everything you can think of. But the feeling is already there. When we are going around as Labour Party with Peter Obi, what we are seeing and the action and the reaction from people is that they are seeing somebody that is now coming closer to them. And this election is not going to be about posters, about billboard, about campaigning. Some of this campaign, it makes people more angrier. What people are seeing is that...
Some of which campaign?
Some of the things that are seen on the television. Somebody said like doing work on yourself there, because you steal the money or you get money from anywhere you can get, because you have this big war chest, then you can play old billboard, you can buy off everything, but you can't buy off the heart of the people, because the reality is there. Immediately if somebody finished watching your television program or was looking at your billboard, but he can't eat, his wife is in the hospital, he don't know what to do, that advert become pain to him. Because why people make advert is because we make advert because once people see you in the advert, they get agitated, they get happy, they get interested. But they are PR people are telling them, just pay money, do billboard. And they feel that buying, you are making presence. No, it's not making presence. Going to campaign rally, bringing a person to campaign rally that his son is at home, not going to school, and then you give him 1,500 to come to a big rally. Then you copy the big rally and say, we are presence. No, you are not presence, because those people are just there to collect their 150 just to go back home. But the pain is already carrying them in their heart, and they will show it on that ballot paper that day.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, on election, on my way to work this morning, I did see a big billboard for Peter Obi and Mr. Dati. And it's interesting that you talk about how what you guys are working towards is a Nigeria where, you know, that works for everybody.
Yes.
That's I saw that on the billboard on my way to work this morning. So you are also doing billboards.
Yeah.
You're doing billboards, and you don't think that people will be angry when they see that, right?
You get angry because we are not in government.
Okay.
We are not the one that steal their money. We are not the one that showing them work out there and giving them shaggy. That's the problem. There is somebody that is in charge today. That is the responsibility of somebody today. So you can't shift the responsibility. Just the way some people talk to me in the north. They said, if I talk to them, they said, don't you see what is happening in the southeast? IPOP and ACN killing the northerners. I said, it's not the duty of Mr. Peter Obi. That's not his duty. The duty still is Muhammad Buhari. That's his duty. So you don't shift the blame. There is House of Assembly members, there is State Assembly members, there is a governor. It's not him. So they say, no, he's supposed to say something. I said, when that one become a duty for somebody to say something, what is duty? Is somebody that said, I will take my responsibility to protect lives and property, and also not to designate any crime with a tribe or religion. What is a crime is a crime. Whether it's been done to a Muslim or done to a Christian or a tribe that has committed it, crime is a crime.
Okay.
So if we judge it as a crime, nobody will start to blame, okay, it's about one. So we are not the ruling party. What we are saying is that we are presenting ourselves, because that's what we feel in Labour Party. It's not about Mr. Peter Obi, it's not about Mr. Dati, it's about Labour Party, it's about Nigerians that pick among this and said, we are going to actualize our dream of a new Nigeria through one of the, everybody knows, from what the trajectory of what we are seeing from after 2015, everybody knows one day Nigerians are going to select somebody, irrespective of religion and tribe, and stick to that person. And it's a warning to him, that person, is that if we can remove this incumbent president, remove an incumbent party, that's mean if you come, it's not about you. If you didn't do the right thing, we are going to keep on changing you till we get the right person that will now respect his promise to Nigerians and also do the right thing.
What I find interesting is your optimism, because as you said, you are a member of the Buhari Support Organization, and you seem to have been disappointed. Such you have, you're now with the Obi Dati campaign, you're supporting Big Tent is supporting the Obi Dati campaign. By itself, I mean, Big Tent, is it a separate body just by itself, or does it exist because of the Obi Dati campaign? Just trying to understand that.
It existed before Obideti. It's a group of smaller parties and also CSOs and NGOs and a group of Nigerians in and outside Nigeria that feel that we have to create what is called the third force. We have to create a sense of recruitment of the new leadership that we want. We want to bring a think tank that will sit down to itemize even post-election activities for the next person that is going to be the next president. And then we have our main man before, Mr. Pantotomi, which we wanted to, and also talk to Labour Party on what we want to do. But when we have the traction coming from Mr. Peter Obi and him move to Labour Party, I think it's very something to do that instead of us to hide under something that we know we didn't believe in, then we now say that a part of them, first to look at them, who among them with his ticket, just the mode as which he become the candidate. It's also something that we have to look at. But look at the character, the passion, the competence among all these candidates. Because, for example, what even, for example, our own side that makes us to feel more comfortable is the hands of God that we have seen. Somebody predicted Nigeria will end by 2015. So another doomsayers are already predicting something will happen in 2020. But we can see the hands of God in all what we are doing. For example, look at National Assembly passed in a bill that removed them to be part of the delegate. It's after they sent this and now they now realize it's only God can do that. And you can see them, they pass Beavers, they pass the IRF. See, after this passed, they now say, how can we do this? That's the work of God. And you can see they have 100 million naira tickets on all of the parties. They have almost 20 candidates. And they will end up with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's a hand of God. And you can see the same thing. After that, they come and join a Muslim ticket. It's the hand of God. So you can see the trace that God is trying to do something for this country. And it's paining a lot of people because they can't solve the problem. Now the subsidy issue is coming. Now they are fighting the villa. They are now fighting the cabal. So you can see all what Nigerians are doing is that we leave it to God. God knows our pain. A lot of people had died. A lot of people, women are now widows. A lot of people cannot go to school. People cannot eat. And they have cried to God. And let me tell you, there is no place on earth that God has been praised like Nigeria. And he will listen to us. And God will create a system for us. I'm just wondering,
because I mean, when I was talking about your optimism, because some people will also say that, you know, it's one thing to campaign. When people campaign, they do not exactly wear the shoes of those who are governing. It's another thing for them to be in governance and to actually see the difference. For instance, we do know that the APC talked about how subsidy was a scam. I mean, we've heard this way before now, even though all the parties are now saying they're going to take away subsidy. But subsidy was always on the table. We're still seeing the fuel scarcity as a problem in recent times. Do you think that it's more about the challenges, which some people will say are a bit difficult to solve? Because we understand that, you know, the APC planned to remove subsidy, but they were afraid of the effect it will have on the people. And as such, they had to leave it because they thought that would increase the suffering of the people. When you study what exactly has been going on in government, do you really think that this is the difference between campaigning and actually settling down into governance?
No, I think the problem is that immediately after election, some people start to put up themselves towards next election. So Nigeria is just election cycles. So nobody thinks of, I would dare to do whatever I want to do for this country, even if I didn't get the second term. So a lot of people think that having second term is more important than putting Nigeria at first. So if you're afraid, you know that this is what is right. You know this is what you're supposed to do. But we are thinking about, okay, I can't do this because I know if I do this, I will not get the second term. So that's what caused the problem. And also, when you get the second term, people around you that want to now succeed you will now tell you, don't do this, because if you do this, it's going to backfire on us. So the system is just organized towards election to election to election. So there is no in-between of what people are supposed to do to win the heart of the people. And also, because the people around the system, the people that run the system, that cripple the institutions, and they feel they are stronger than the institution, are the ones that are looking for who become next in line at the governor's level or at the presidential level. So those people that you can see governors They are just creating and shoving themselves, trying to see who is going to be anointed and be. So they now not going to be at the side of the people. So if you do the calculation from the party to the ruling class, nobody is at the side of the people.
But nobody likes to lose elections. No political party likes to lose
that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
So what makes you,
in Labour Party,
makes you optimistic this time around that things will be different?
That's the conversation we had. Even yesterday, there's a conversation with the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi. And he's saying it clearly. He said, if I refuse to, because this was Pashola told us. He said, if we refuse to do the right thing, don't vote us back. That's what he said in 2014. Momo, their chairman then, even said, you can go ahead and even stone us if you don't do this A, B, C, and D. So what we are saying is that he is saying the same thing. I said, hold us responsible. Me and my vice president, Dr. Ahmed, hold us responsible. This is our pact with you. And we are taking the pact. The young people are the idea. We are not there for politics. 80% of obedience that I know have something doing. They are professionals, they don't know what they are doing. So they are not active politicians if you see the people around. So what we are saying is clear. We are here for Nigeria. If it refuses to work, because nobody is here for him to get an appointment. Nobody is putting anything, said, I'm giving you my money so that you can do a lot of billboards and you can do a lot of campaign. Then at the end, allow me to continue doing illegal bunkering, or I should continue to get a minister, or you give me this 5. There is no that conversation with Mr. Peter Obi. That's what we are saying. That's the kind of system we want to carry, so that if he fails us, or if his candidacy with it, and they said it to us, if we didn't get you what you want, remove us and bring another person. But what we are going to achieve with that is that if we can achieve to put up a president on a platform using protest campaign, using what is called social engineering of people in Nigeria, talking to people and not holding ourselves into a structure of failure, a structure that is not giving Nigeria anything. Whether the structure as they are telling Nigerians today, then because I know a lot of them, they come and say, winning elections is about structure. The structure has already collapsed because the structure is the same people that we go to market together. That are being built structure and then suffering together with us.
Let's bring in our colleagues from Lagos.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Mr. Abdul Karim, the first question that comes to my mind is something that bugs the mind from time to time. And that's the fact that it is almost natural for every politician who comes on this program or speaks at any public forum to shade other political parties and put them in their place or dig up dirt about them. But do you see a time, I saw a video, I think it was yesterday, where, and I think it's a European country, these contestants had their posters and stands right beside each other. There were 3 of them, had their posters right beside each other, like you would have, pepper sellers in the markets. They had their stands next to each other. 3 candidates in a row, and they were doing their campaigns to all the people who were passing them by. The candidates were there, no policeman, no security, nothing. If there was, they're in mufti. So do you see a time in this country where politicians will come, discuss their plans and programs, and not throw shades at each other, just to demarket the other fellow and market yourselves? Do you see a time in this country when that will happen?
Election, that's what is going to happen in 2027, because at least we are going to even have a bill that we're going to send to a National Assembly so that we can even straighten how people conduct themselves during election. For example, I was in Kano, I was in Katsina, and I saw different rallies on TV. If you see the amount of thugs, if you see the amount of drugs, you see the amount of people have been wasted. I'm in Sokoto, in the seat of the Caliphate. If you can see the amount of young people I have seen fully taken, we can't even understand what they're like, chewing drugs and they're carrying everything that they can carry up to that parade ground. Some of them we have to use SSS and security to collect some of these things. I think it's high time for us to remove this rally issue. What we need that every society, every community have leaders, and they know their own problem. So they have to sit down at their ward level and discuss their problem and have a leadership that will go to the center and represent them and sit down with the next person that is going to be the next president. Because you don't just have a car, put off your music and go to town and just tell Nigerians to dance. For example, I see one of the presidential candidates. He went to one of the biggest city in the north with the biggest crowd in the north. But when he looked at them, he said, he come here to dance. And he said, play music for me. It was so painful for anybody, that more especially us from the north. We felt this is not supposed to be. We're supposed to have somebody that will sit down and discuss with people. We have leaders.
At a rally?
No, we don't have to. That's what I'm saying. We have to cancel. That way he asks. We say by 2027, we can't have these rallies. We can't continue this because we are not discussing anything. We are not saying anything. And the suffering. After that rally, I met a lot of women on the road trying to go back to where they come from. And you see them, some of them have not even eaten. You see them fighting themselves, you understand? So actually, even the audience that were there, they are just a bunch of people that don't even understand what you are doing on the stage. They don't even understand what you are saying on the stage. But this is a place that people are invited, come to talk to Nigerians, but they don't want to talk because they don't want to face the reality. They don't want to face the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, for example, because they know people are going to ask them. They are professionals. They know what they are doing. They don't want to meet the labor union because they know they are going to ask them.
Well,
they don't want to meet anybody. What they just want to do is just
exactly
that they will wave.
The very issue we are talking about is precisely what you're still doing, shading other parties. And it's clearly what your own candidate has done and what you have been doing here now. Why wait until 2027? Why not now to begin to talk to the issues only and not appeal to the sentiments of hunger and all those things, which are, of course, the realities of Nigerians. These are the realities of Nigerians. And behind the scenes here, I was discussing with my cast and crew here that as far back as the 80s, Fela Anikulapo Kuti sang the song Suffering and Smiling. It was during the military era. And also down through the years, we have seen the same thing. Even in this republic, a musician sang that the whites should come and give him a visa so that he can leave the country. Why? Because things were tough. This has been our stories over the years, and it has been sustainable. It has been a kind of sustained pain for the people in Nigeria, and there are those who, reference that it happens in other parts of the world as well. So what do you think is the fundamental issue, especially with the systems that are not making things easy for Nigerians, and how will your candidate, your party, address those fundamental structural governance issues?
Because we are always interested in creating strong people. We are not interested in creating strong institutions. Our institutions are very, very weak. And you can see it, not only here. Go to the villa, if you are going into the villa, you see a security man giving you, Alaji, you are welcome. Baba, we are here. You go to airport, they do the same thing. You see things not working. You see things that are supposed to ordinarily be done this way. But you see us taking entirely a different direction. What we need is that in every life of a country that develops to where we see them today, there is a president or a leader that comes with the people together, the way General Muhammadu Buhari enters and leaves the people by the side. But if you come with the goodwill and people understand where you are going to do, they will help you to create the institutions. So what we're having is that a lot of people come with baggages. If you go into people's houses and promising them, I'm going to work with you. You are going to be my next minister. I'm going to work with you. I will give you Minister of Petroleum. I'm going to work with you. I will allow you to continue doing what you are doing. You already have a lot of baggage already with you. A lot of baggage. And this is the baggage that is going to be a serious problem to people. Because if you have baggage, there is no way you can move because you are going to create. And also the thing that is really having problem with in this country today is that people without enterprise are making a lot of money. And people are making money in government. So somebody that is having 1 billion, he feels more comfortable to invest in politics.
I feel that the question, you're not really addressing the very question that I asked. That's why you're not really addressing the question that I asked, Mr. Abdul Karim. I'm just asking, if you agree that there are fundamental governance issues. There are fundamental structural issues in our governance process. For instance, 2 years ago, we heard the DG of, I think, the Budget Office saying that the federal government alone has more than 900 ministries, departments, and agencies, and more than 500 corporations. Now, these are the structural issues that form the governance process. Do you think we have fundamental problems in these ministries, departments, and agencies and corporations of the federal government? And if we do, how will your candidate address the structural governance issues that we have that's not able to deliver governance to people the way they should?
I'll still take you back because I think you misunderstood me. What you need to understand is very easy and very clear. What I'm saying, these agencies of government are being used to just wait to pay back to people. They are used like something you
So
give.
what will your government do
people
differently?
That bring their own goodwill, bring their own money for people to win. And these are the people that are given this position. Federal revenue is given. So the problem is not about the president that is trying to create, but you dash that entire department of government and you keep on creating them just for convenience of you taking care of your political dynasty, people around you. So what we are saying is that until we have a president that will come in by what? By people creating. That's why I said General Muhammadu Buhari got that opportunity, but people take it away from him. The people that they so-called them cabal, I don't know them, but some people say they know them. But the idea we are seeing is that if you have this goodwill from people, the way I'm seeing our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, having, I think there is no way he will come and misuse that goodwill. So he can do whatever he wants to make sure at least he can. And if he's not thinking of the next election, as I explained to you before, then they can come around and say, okay, this is what I want to do with the police, this is what I want to do with the custom, this is what I want to do with the MP, this is what I want to do with the NEMASA. You have to stand your ground.
It will be good and very interesting, Mr. Abdul Karim. Just 1 second.
Because you want next election.
It'll be good to understand
that in
yes, just 1 second. We need to take a break now, Mr. Abdul Karim. It'll be good to know how, not just what. But we'll be back after now to take more.
Welcome back. It's still the Verdict 2023, and we still have with us from our Abuja studio the DG, Big Tent Nigeria, Obidati Independent Campaign Council, Mr. Ibrahim Abdul Kadir. Mr. Ibrahim, thank you for holding on. I'm also interested in picking up, with the same tone of engagement as my colleague Ayo. I'm more interested in the how rather than the what, which suggests, your explanation so far in response to his question. And this is in reference to your presidential candidate's promises, massive agricultural development in the north, industrialization as well, which we can tie to his what seems to be his slogan now, moving Nigeria from consumption to production. But in that regard, what are the creative solutions, on ground for him to execute this? And what's been missing, if we can tie it also to that, is, the endorsement or the harmonization of that with government at the subnationals, because I imagine that it will be unable to carry that out without being in consonance with government at the subnational level. And in relation to that, what's been absent is seeing endorsement of governorship candidates of the Labour Party at your major campaign rallies. Do you see, as a result of this, obstacles in that regard should your candidate win the election?
Yeah, I think Mr. Peter Obi is somebody that everybody knows. He was in Anambra as the only elected governor on that Abuga, all his House of Assembly, and they even take him out and also impeach him at that moment. What I just want you to understand is that we will come here and keep on talking about the process, how it's supposed to be done. Let me tell you, in Nigeria, that is, in terms of document, paper, putting something on how we can do it, there is no country in the world that have those kind of things like Nigeria. There is nothing that you can pull All this about the MDS we are talking about, Orasanye report and everything, we have almost all the papers. What we lack is that leadership and courage. That leadership and courage. Until you have a leader that will have a courage. Let me tell you the truth. Not me. You can even pick any lecturer from anywhere and tell him, come and govern this country. If he have the goodwill, political will, and courage, you will see magic that is going to happen. So we keep on sitting down here and said, how are we going to do? They are doing Uncle Borowa, they are doing, what is lacking in everything that you see them doing? And I can bet you, and you can talk to all the professors in this country, they have met different people, they have that is every day if you are in the villa. Because I was throughout part of the transition committee as a secretariat, I can tell you we receive thousands of documents from people free of charge, from international communities, from diaspora, from here, telling us what we need to do to get electricity, what we need to do to get our people on the farm. They tell us everything. But what is lacking that immediately we enter into election, we try to solve the burden that we have bring. And also the people around the presidency start to shove around to see who is going to be the chief of staff. If he becomes chief of staff, how is he going to send other people out of the system? This is the major problem we're having. So until we start all these technical questions that we keep on bringing when we are doing issues like this, we're supposed to understand that the problem is that we, up to today, nobody takes the responsibility to be a leader, to be in charge, and tell us that, yes, I'm aware of the 77 trillion naira debt when we are going to start this. I'm
Mr.
aware
Ibrahim,
that bandits are ransacking the country, killing people.
You say true leadership.
The police are weak.
Mr. Ibrahim, you say true leadership is what is needed, to wave the magic wand that will transform a document into, the reality, the dreams that Nigerians desire. But are you ruling out the possibility, because other candidates have come with grander promises, are you now ruling out the possibility that should your candidate win and he, assumes office, he's not going to get an epiphany like others have got, that what their predecessor left is much more than they can deal with?
I'm so sure, because we are talking about character. We are talking about passion. We are talking about competence. I'm so sure Nigerians are the ones that are going to bring Mr. Peter Obi to lead this country. And Nigerians are the ones that are going to certify him whether he is doing well or he's not doing well. And the same Nigerians have already shown that they can remove an incompetent president, they can remove an incompetent party, and it's not that it's going to be easier for Nigerians to remove him. So he will not dare try to go sideways of where Nigerians are coming from, giving everything that they have to say, you are the one that is going to lead us on this campaign for the new Nigeria. So what I'm saying is that it's about the character. Everybody has worked somewhere, and we have known what they have done. We have checked their record. We have seen who are the other people. Because if you said, okay, I can go to primaries and pay money to delegate to vote me, then if I become president, I'm now going to fight corruption. It's not making sense to me, for example. Or you tell me that you can go into places promising rich men and big politicians and governors, this is what I'm going to do to you. This is what I'm going to do to you after election. And at the end, when you win, that baggage is the one that is going to hold you down, not to do anything, not to do that manifesto, that beautiful manifesto that you have, that you can't run it because you have already come with baggage. And we have seen, even in Nigeria, a whole governor kidnapped because he has an arrangement with somebody to be paid something. It was all on news. Everybody knows about this. So what we need to do is that to get somebody that is strong first in character, somebody that is all right,
Mr. Ibrahim,
I'm not going to do this.
We hope that strength of character is the silver bullet that is needed, and it's just about 17 days before we find out what exactly will happen. Well, a few more days in addition, but let's manage our time. Yet another poll, this time by Next Year, a certain organization called Next Year SPD, puts your candidate again in the lead. But this has been challenged by the opposition, saying that it's a hugely partisan poll and that it cannot stand the integrity of what would actually happen at the general elections. But more importantly, the opposition is saying yet again that those conducting polls are working for your party. It's the same that was said about the ANAP poll, and it's the same thing that has been said about this Next Year poll. What is the defense of the Labour Party? Because it's one accusation too many. First, it was by the All Progressives Congress, and then again, it was by yet another presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore, who says that those conducting polls are working for your party.
Conducting polls is very easy. And then I know in PDP and I know in APC, they have commissioned organizations. They thought that what we are doing is somebody that is giving us the result. That's what they thought. Maybe we pay somebody to go and do it. And they paid people. They paid money to go and conduct polling for them. And the result is still giving them what the other people are seeing. Not one, not two. Now we have almost 10 different polling that is still showing that Mr. Peter Obi. Go to market. I always tell people, if you go to a restaurant, ask the waiter, ask the people. If you go to hotel, ask the people. Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are not full. You know this technology that we have today, this WhatsApp that you have seen, all these things that we have seen with the people are going through things. People understand the problem. People understand that we need a strong leadership this time around. And it's an opportunity given to us by God, not by anybody. After 4 years for us to change, if we are not comfortable with what we are doing. So if it is easy, I bet them, go and pay for somebody to do the polling for them.
But Mr. Ibrahim, did your party commission next year?
That's what I'm saying.
Did your party commission next year SPD to conduct this round of polls, this survey?
It's not. That's what I'm saying. We have never pay any group or any organization to conduct a distance for. They do it on their own. But they are accusing us because they said we are doing that. They are coming from opposition. I said, okay, get the ones that are coming from your own side. Let's do it for you. Then show the Nigerians, this is the one that we have done. Show us, because in polling, you have to tell us the indices you have used, what are the methodology you have done. Show us. It's an open something. Polling is not something that is difficult. It's just sampling. What is your sampling? Just do it and send it to Nigerians. But as of today, we have done almost 10 different pollings in this country, including international one. All what is showing is that Mr. Peter Obi is winning. You can't change it. It's a Nigeria that is trying to survive, to fight through something that is giving them a serious problem, and they will fight this fight and we will win. And that's why we said Peter Obi is just the answer, and Nigerians have seen it, and they are going to run to him so that we can serve this country together.
I know you know that elections are not just won by those polls.
Of course.
You know that there's much more of those who are going to vote who are not part of any polling.
Of course.
How much importance do you then pay to the polls?
Very, very important. You see, the polls, what they do to us is to give us an idea where to put our materials, where to create our media conversation, what are our talking points. These are something. Let's look at some of these polls. There is some citing. They are not just asking you who are you going to vote for. No, they will ask you what are your feelings about this country. What are the problems? And this issue of character that I'm talking about is the people that are saying it. It's asking people, is character an important aspect for those people that are going into it? If you look at the 4 contenders today, the character is very important. Even if you ask of health, you ask of everything, it's the people that are saying it. And you have to allow them, because...
Has it ever impacted how Nigerians vote?
Yeah, it does.
Really?
It does. It does.
Which case? Which instance?
If you remove rigging, you understand. What will happen in Nigeria is that today I told you that somebody was sleeping somewhere and allowed the Vivas to go and allowed the RF to go. So they have to contend with it. People are going to vote based on the capacity. And let me tell you what is happening to the North. A lot of people feel that Peter Obi is not going to have vote from the North.
Will he?
He's, by special government, he's going to get more vote from the North because, not than even maybe some part of the southern part of the country. You know the reason? Because the anger is more on the North than the people in the South. Number one, I myself personally, I have conducted not 1, not 2, not 3. Last 3 weeks, I was in Kano. I was in 3 radio stations and 1 TV station. And I opened the line for a call-in for more than 45 people calling. All the people that called in attest to what I'm saying and agree to the Labour Party manifesto and the thinking and the ideology we are bringing on board. And all of them, even the person just like you, was confused to say, how do we do it? I said, it's not us doing it. It's the God that people has prayed to that is doing it for us. Let me tell you.
I'm not confused on anything, actually.
You're not going to be confused. You're not confused. What we're saying is that you must go deep into the villages and ask them. See, if government abandoned you, you don't know what's happening in Zamfara. You don't. Zamfara, people are sitting on gold. The first issue we have with Zamfara is this lead poisoning because of this activity of miners. Today, as I talk to you, we have what is called Nigerian gold market in Dubai. Every day, gold is being removed from Zamfara with all the killings in Zamfara. That's mean one of the governors, I had one of the program, the governor was saying that if the person that he was talking to, he said, if you can take the sand where you are standing, because he's telling me that there was more gold in Ondo than Zamfara. He said, no, that place they are standing, if you can just take the sand and save the sand as a gold mine or something, you will see at least a treasure of a gold in that. That's how Zamfara is made. But you can see the amount of poverty, the amount of hunger, the amount of insecurity. In Zamfara alone, every day people begin. So people are aware. People think that people are not aware, but
let's wind down with this
are
one.
aware.
How are you optimistic with the introduction of beavers, preparations by INEC for this election?
Very well. I think I can say Nigerians cannot thank the leadership of INEC. The leadership of the people are trying to give us this. The international committee that behind this is so fantastic. Nigeria is so happy because we have seen that before they would just write the numbers and just announce this is about the president, and we can't do anything about it.
You think it will change this time?
It will change. Seriously, it will change. We have seen what happened in Ocean. We have seen what is happening in Ekiti. We know if Nigerians come out, rigging is when you have small margins.
If they come out. But
if they come out, they are going to come out.
The young people will come out this time?
Not young people. The young are suffering. The old are suffering. The rich are suffering. The poor are suffering. We don't even have a middle class. Everybody is suffering. Go now. It's the morning time. Go outside and see people going to work. You see, look at their faces.
All right. Ibrahim Abdul Karim is the DG Big Tent Nigeria. Is also the DG #OBIDATI Independent Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you for coming on, and all the best.